Shalom, my people. Shalom, my people. Shalom, shalom, shalom. My subscribers, please go to Yaqua. I know a lot of people are probably looking for Melvin, but go to Yaqua. Yaqua is where is that? Yaqua is where is that? So go to Yaqua on YouTube and you'll find it. Shalom, my people. I'm gonna tell you why so-called black man, so-called black woman, so-called Mexican, so-called Native American Indians are going through hell right now. We're going through hell with each other. We're going through hell with the pandemic, starvation, loss of job, mortgage going up, rents going up, people getting kicked out of their house. Why is it a higher rate than, with us? Um, why we have the highest rate out of everybody? That ought to be something that concerns you. Why we have the highest rate out of every nation on the world, on the planet, which is 18 nations in the Bible. All 18 nations are still here. Why do we have the highest rate of everything? Highest rate of cancer, highest rate of high blood pressure, highest rate of cholesterol, highest rate of heart attack, highest rate corona, uh, Omicron, any kind of virus, any kind of sickness. We at the highest rate of every nation. That ought to be something that is mind boggling. You got to figure out why you went through slavery. Nobody, they teach you that you went through it. They teach that you did a bunch of things, but nobody never said to ask the question why, because they never meant for you to ask the question why. They just want you to keep going through it. They don't want you to know that there's a way out. They don't want you to know there's a way out of this scenario that we're going through. I'm gonna tell you why. The name of the lesson today is why the Most High cursed Israel, provoking the Most High. The reason why we are in the curse because we provoke the Most High. It's all in the Bible, but they won't tell you to read the Bible. You'll never know these things if you don't read the Old Testament. If you don't read the Old Testament, these things you would not know. I don't know why, but you would not know this if you don't read the Old Testament, because they teach you out of. They teach the church to tell you don't go to the Old Testament. But the reason why you're going through what you're going through is in the Old Testament, so you need that knowledge. I have not yet known anybody to go buy a book and read from the back to the front. I have read maybe 110, 120 books, maybe. I got books laying all around reading books, read books. And I never go to the back of the book and read to the front. I always start from the front, read the introduction, I read everything, go and finish the book. So they have taught you not to even go into the Old Testament. But all your faults and why you're in this situation in the Testament, who your nationality is, you're not a black or Afro-American, black or black Afro, you're not every 10 years they change your nationality and nobody else's nationality changed. The Chinaman been Chinaman ever since I was born. Chinaman been Chinaman since you were born. Japanese been Japanese ever since you were born. Whites been whites ever since you were born. But the blacks changed. So they ought to tell you something. So long as they can keep you out of the Old Testament, you won't know. Let me get to it. Daniel's 9:11. Yea, all Israel had transgressed the law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. We sinned against God. Moses wrote the law. The law was given to the people that came out of Egypt. Who came out of Egypt? The so-called Africans and Egyptians, they had you in slavery. They had you in slavery, and for 400 years till Moses came. So Moses delivered us when we went to Mount Sinai. You done seen the movie, but just think about the movie is being black folks so-called. Not them white folks you see, not the people that you see over there in Israel today, because they're not the real people. Why you think Ukraine and Russia is fighting? Them Ottoman Turks. They came over there in 1948 when the British and the United States of America went over there and made a mandate with them. And that's why you think Israel get paid billions of dollars a year. Why? Because they don't want the truth to come out. So that's what they do. They built the Suez Canal, which y'all seen earlier up in the year where the Suez Canal got blocked off and all the shipment got held up. Well, that Suez Canal was man-made with Britain and the United States of America. So now you can split Africa up and you call it Israel, the Middle East, which is no such thing. All that's Africa, but that's just called East Africa. So it's where Jerusalem and Israel. That's why the Lord said he called you Israel, call you Judah, because of that. They won't teach you that though. And it's hard to train an old dog new tricks when the message is new, but the dog is old. Because that's what they did to us. They messed our mind up through slavery, deception, even bribery amongst our own people. Why the Most High cursed Israel? Everything we give our children is conditional. If they do X, they will get Y. If they do X, they will lose. If they do not do X, they will lose Y. Likewise, everything our Heavenly Father is conditioned as well. After he delivered us out of Egypt, well, I told you we were delivered out of Egypt through Moses. Moses was a black man, so-called black man. Moses is from the tribe of Levi. Him and his brother Aaron was the high priest. The what you call Haitian, they come from the tribe of Levi. Come up under the same bloodline as Moses. Same bloodline as Aaron. But you'll never understand it because you won't read. Why you think Haiti going through so much trouble? Haiti going through so much trouble because they over there worshiping voodoo. They're doing all kind of wicked stuff over there. That's why Haiti used to be one of the richest countries in the world. Of course, yeah, they won when they fought the French with overthrew, but that God gave them that victory. They turned right around and went right back to where they was. The same thing with any nation that go against God. Guess what? God give you X, and once you disobey X, you don't get Y. I'm just reading it to you, folks. I'm just trying to give you the simplest way I can get it to you. He had Moses instructed us on his law, which was a set of statutes, commandments our ancestors and all generations following them were to follow forever. For a while, things went well. Like I said, for a while, things went well. We walked with the Most High, feared and revered him. And he in turn gave us blessing and victories over victories. So what compelled him to curse our father and all success Israelite generation? Why? Because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why he said generation. You will never understand. They won't tell you you are being generated. So you're the same people that Moses brought out of captivity from the Egyptians, which is the so-called Africans. You was them people. So you just keep going through generation, and you the same people that went through there. You done heard the word deja vu. You go to Ecclesiastes, I think it started in 11. They tell you there's nothing new up under the sun. Everything come around like they think they the first one to be up in space. What about the chariots? What about the angels? They was already in space up there in the heavens, in the clouds. What about Elijah? When Elijah, God took him up in the whirlwind, in the chariot. The chariot is so it ain't nothing but what they call a UFO. That's our transportation. The same way the Most High, when he went up into heaven, he went up in a chariot, which is the transportation up to the where the Most High is. But you won't never understand because you won't read, you won't study. There's no such thing as a UFO, unidentified object. We know who it is. Even the old ancestor was singing some swing low street chariot, come on and take me home or carry me home. They knew. How you think they knew about that? They keep telling you they couldn't read. They could read, but they didn't let them read because guess what? They would pluck their eyes out. They would cut their tongue off, and they called reading because they didn't want to teach the people. So they would cut their tongue out. They didn't want that they was illiterate. It's just that they didn't want them to read. As well as what they did to evoke his wrath. Thousands of years later, has Israel changed? We have not changed. We're the same people thousands of years before this. Same people. We just hard-headed. We do not want to do what the Most High say. It's just point blank. We are hard-headed, stiff-necked people. We do not want to do what the Most High say do. It's just something about us in our bloodline that we just hard-headed people and we don't want to listen to the Most High. See, you remember back in the day, when I wake up in the morning, like Sunday morning, we used to wake up, I hear my mama singing. She was praying for us, singing, still praising the Lord. Nobody do that no more. You can't find a grandma do it because guess what? The grandma just not come home from the club at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so she's sleeping in. Her and the daughter is the same. Because you can look at that generation now, you see what's going on. We lost as a people. But we must come back as a people. That's the only way it's going to work. I want you to go to 1 Kings, verse 14, read verse 15. For the Lord shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water. A reed, like a weed, like a wild weed just growing up in the water, and it shall be shaken. Now the water move back and forth. And he shall root up Israel out of this good land, which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groove, provoking the Lord to anger. That's why we went in slavery, because we provoked the Lord to anger, because we didn't keep the law, statute, and commandment which he gave Moses to get us. Even when Moses went up there to talk to the Lord, you know the story. It came back, y'all were making gold out of the stuff that we brought. When God, because guess what? When we left, they gave us gold, silver. See, God didn't just send us nowhere without provision. He gave us gold. But guess what? When Moses go up there to get do the commandment, talk to the Lord, he come back. Guess what we doing? We done built golden calf worshiping God. What we do now today, we don't forget God. We worship Satan, so-called, which is this mean deceiver, which is so-called United States of America, which is so-called white man, because everything that they allow you to do, you do it. There was no such thing as gay people running around in Israel like they do now. They got more rights than the regular people. Our women wasn't running amok. The men weren't running amok, but we disobeyed the law, statute, and commandment. If you go read Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, you'll see all the curses is upon us. So that's why we number one in everything. That's why our eyes should be evil toward our brother. That's why we kill each other. Why the rate amongst each other is high. That's why we leave our children. We leave our wife. That's all in there. That's why our women are unsubmissive. That's how our women hate their husband. That's how our women hate their children. All that's in there in Deuteronomy. If you read Deuteronomy, you will see it. You will be amazed at the stuff that's in there. You'll say, wow, all this in there about us? Yes, it is. Go to Psalms 106, verse 39 to verse 43. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a horn with other inventions, other gods, other things, everything. We left God and started worshiping cars. We started worshiping our jobs. We started worshiping them more than we worshiping the family. We started worshiping Allah, Buddha, all this other 70 evangelists. We started worshiping them. We forgot all about God. Therefore, was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hate them rule over them. Who hate us? It was you have to when you do this walk with the Most High, walk has to be a watchman. Watchman, you have to study everything. So I watch everything. I pay attention to everything. It's a one young woman. She up there in what she was. Okay, don't quote me on this. I think she was in Canada. No, she wasn't in Canada. I don't know what she was, but wherever it was not that many black folks in there. So she opened up an online business for women's selling clothes. A lady ordered some clothes off the line and then wrote her a letter, said, if I knew you was black, I wouldn't have ordered this. I want my refund. And just the lady, the so-called black woman got on there. You can go pull up. Just pull up on Google. You'll find it. where she was reading the email that the lady sent, and here it is, still 2022. This shit acting no because you're up under curse. You shall be up under. Well, I'm gonna read it just right. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them rule over us, and they hate us. Why you don't see that? You don't see that? I don't care where you at. You in the ghetto. I don't care where you go at in the world. You can go to Canada. You can go to Israel. You can go to Africa. You can go to China, Japan. You say Africa? Yeah, go to Africa. You see the niggas with the fat nose? That's you, because we ran from the Roman prosecution in 65 A.D. or 67 A.D. We ran to the west coast of Africa, so we still got people over there in the west coast of Africa. If you remember that movie called what? The Wanda Hotel or Wanda Hotel, and the Tutsis and them people fighting each other. The reason why they was killing them and government didn't give no help, because the ones they were killing were the so-called Negroes. If you remember the movie, they was killing because their nose was fat. Well, that's you. African got skinny nose. They knew who you were. Even the African knew who you were. I was dialoguing back and forth with it on Tip Top, but it ended up being it was on Tip Top. I said the reason why you think like that because you are African. I said you're not us. And came with you, and you know what she said? She came back and said, "Yeah, I'm an African. I come from here. I come from here. I speak this language, that language." She knew she was an African. You got these so-called niggas walk around here and say they're African. They have no idea where they come from. That's how you know they are real Africans. You have to do your genealogy through your family. I know who I am. Let's go back to the beginning. I know who my uncle is. This man looks like my daddy. I know who Uncle Lies. I know who our family start. We got a family tree. All you got to do is ask your family member, and that's what you'll tell you to see if you're a real so-called nigger or not. I got a Bible dictionary. Before I get off this thing, I'm gonna read that Bible dictionary to you to show you who you are, that you're not an African. I'm gonna read it to you and get it to you, but I'm gonna keep going with this here. Their enemy also oppressed them. Who oppress us? Who oppressed all the 12 tribes of Israel? Who are oppressing us? It's self-explanatory. You can see your friend. You'll get some people come on because some so-called niggas think because they making $75,000 a year. It's only 9%. Hey, baby, I do my homework. Women are working longer because they have no man. They're working longer hours because they have no man, because they are unsubmissive. This is upon your oppressors. This is where God say you follow other inventions. You following them. So you figure you don't want a man. There's no one. Okay, that's something else. And here goes another thing. Only 9% of black women make $35 an hour. That's $75,000. Out of all these women, only 9%. So just imagine the percentage of the black women, because you just mix y'all in together. So it's a bunch of y'all walking around here making $35,000 a year, but you spending like you making $100,000 a year. All this is upon your oppressor. You got the black men are struggling. You can't keep a job. They're in jail, in prison. So we all suffering as a result of that. 80% of the women file for divorce because they follow other gods. Prior to 1960, black people were married at 85%. That is when Martin Luther King came along and told you to join hand with them. The Most High told you to separate from them. The Most High told you to separate from the other nations. But when Martin Luther King came, he came and made you separate. Then guess what? It went down. Even during slavery, at over 80%, we was being married. But now it's barely 35% among black people that are married, because we have followed other gods. So we are destroyed. You follow Martin Luther King, you follow Medgar Evers, you follow Malcolm X, you follow a whole bunch of leaders, and they got you nowhere. You're in worse condition than you were during slavery. Now it's mental instead of physical. You are in bad shape, and they won't tell you that. We are being beat down because we follow God doing this to you. Why the Most High curse Israel? Until you realize you Israel, this stuff will be foreign language to you. The enemy also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. We came into slavery under their hand. Many times did he deliver. Many times did God deliver us. If you go back and read the Old Testament, read Joshua, King, Second King. We was fighting, man. We was beating all them Africans, the Canaanites, the Egyptians. We had to fight the people. God gave us that land, and as we went through that land, He delivered us from that. But every time He delivered us, we go right back to doing the same thing, the same way now. You say, God, I'll never do that again. I promise you, I'll never do that again, Most High. I'll never do it again. Then as soon as He come bring you out of it, you go right back. That's us all day long. Many times did He deliver them, but they provoked Him with their counsel and were brought low for their iniquity. Counsel, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers. You'll never understand that these people, I'm gonna start with Martin Luther King. He brought you over here. He not brought you here. You was already here. He started that movement, and it destroyed the black family. You said what? What you talking about? You just had a celebration of Martin Luther King. God said they're part of the council. They got together and said, "Hey, I ain't finna get in a negative stereotype about Martin Luther King about what he was doing behind the scene. You don't got enough information to know what he was doing behind the scene." So he came on here and he said, "We're gonna join hand with them." Once we join hand with them, what happened? Who one of our kids got spit on, but y'all make it a hero type thing. They spit on that kid, they go through all that stuff. But before we did that, we had our own stores, we had our own school, we had our own library, we had our own cities making money. Rosewood, the movie they just talking about now when they dropped the bomb on the people and killed all them people in Texas. We had our own stuff. But when Martin Luther came along, because it was all part of the plan, it made us join hand with them. Then we lost our store. We quit going to the stores because we started going to their store. We quit going to our restaurant, started going to McDonald's and Burger King. They flourished and we went back. Because guess what? We started following them. That's why God sees the heathen. The enemies oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did He deliver them, but they provoked Him with their counsel and were brought low for their iniquity. We low to the ground now. Can't get no lower. If you open up your mind and study the Word of God, you'll see that I make sense when I tell you about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Malcolm X went over there to Malcolm, came back and said, white people can join you. Every time that we join with them, we get destroyed because you want to be with them so bad. Our women act just like them. So our women are when white women go to college, they'll get a career, but they won't be in their career long because they'll get a husband at 22, 23 years old. Our women want to go party, drink, get their hair done, and here they go 30 years old. Now they're a sour grape. Now they clock ticking. They want her to get married. But guess what? Nobody want to choose them. Somebody go to the 20-year-old. So now on the 4% our women get married. All of it is a domino effect. The men are coming. Our men we only making so much money, and they beating us. And they putting us in jail. And they hunting us down. They killing us. All this part because guess what? We followed counsel. Isaiah 1:4. Sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupt. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backwards. We backwards. We doing it. Before Martin Luther King came along, we were flourishing. That was during the time we were obeying God. We were listening to what God said before He came. Now then, when He came, look where we at now. Go back and look at the statistics and look where we were to where we at now. When after Martin Luther King came and made us do that. That's what the Lord is saying. Now our children are evildoers. Now we are full of iniquity. Look at our children. They dying at the street. Our babies are dying at 15, 16, 17 years old. Every day you turn on the news, our babies are dying. Our women, our little girls are getting kidnapped. Our young men are being shot in the street. They're killing each other because guess what? A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, or seed or evildoers, children that are corrupt. That's why we in the shape we in. Because they will not let you read the Old Testament So you don't know what's going on in your life. So you are completely lost. And guess what, people? Y'all quads retired, and it feels so good. I work for no one but myself. I got my own business. I work for myself. I'm making more money now being retired than I was working for somebody else. And I'm considered now one of them one percenters with six figures. I'm considered one of them one with six figures. But I will never forsake the Lord after I know the Lord done brought me from. We are in trouble right now, people, as a nation of people. And I said that it says, now I get up, I do everything I normally need to do, get dressed and everything. I go eat me some breakfast. I read the scripture first. Then I do everything I need to do. Then I go eat breakfast. Then when I go eat breakfast, I go to the Waffle House. All I see is women by themselves. I see two women, three women, a woman and a child because there's no man around. Because they have broken us up when Martin Luther King came and they got equal rights. Now you got equal rights. Now guess what? You making more money, so what you do? You don't need a man now. Because guess what? They have taught you that you don't need a man, but guess what? They went back to during the feminist movement, they needed bodies. So they got the black women to join in with them, went to the feminist movement and got what they wanted. The white women went back home. Our women weren't oppressed. We had a marriage of over 80% before Martin Luther King come. But then that feminist movement came in and they set us back. Because guess what? Instead of following God laws, we went to following their laws. But they were smart enough to go back home to their husband. I'm gonna tell you a prime example of something I seen. People, I'm in Jacksonville, and everybody knew where Pritchard Road at, Sutel, where Popeyes at, and you got the Family Dollar in the corner. That's Pritchard Road when you go across. You go across there, it got a place called Linda Joe's Propane. Well, years ago, her husband, it was all kind of tax problem. Taxing, they took the company, guess what she did? She went and signed her name and put everything in her name, and they kept their business. Now it's thriving, they still making money. Because it's in her name, not the husband's name. Black women would not take a chance on their husband like that because their mama has taught them. I told you about the other scripture where it said that Ezekiel 16:44, as the mother, as the daughter. Because guess what? The mother has taught the daughter to be independent. My last week of work is this girl came in there where we sit to the table and talk. Not everybody, the whole crew. And she said, I'm independent. My mama taught me to be independent. That's 16 is Ezekiel 16:44. Our women have been tricked into leaving their husband. You leave your husband 80%. You leave him for a 20% mess up. Now you're 100% on your own. And guess what? Your mind's so stubborn, you can't take correction. Guess what you'll do? You'll go buy your dog. You see more women with dogs now than you ever seen in your life. They go buy them little dog. Guess what? They post them all on Facebook, your thing, talking to the dog like it's a person because they have done that to you. You have done that to yourself. We have done that to ourselves. Now look at our children. Our women are raising our kids. We really paying for it. That's why the God say, go ahead. I'm going to read it again what he said. The people are laden with iniquity, means sin, a seed or evildoer, children that are corrupt. You've been taught from seed to seed to seed how to act through your mom and dad, through your mama. Your mama, your single mama teach you, she done left her husband, so she gonna teach you not to have your husband. They left for 20%. Now you 100% responsibility. Now guess what? You buying dog. Now you cook what your mama said. Now guess what? The man is gone. Now there are 75 to 85% so-called Negro and brown people in prison because they are left there. And now you teach your son to be feminine. And now he's out there either gay, selling dope, killed dead, or in prison. So you are causing the kids to get killed. You are causing evil monsters out in the street because you kicked the man out for the government, which you married the government. You married to the government. The government said, kick your man out, and I give you child support, and I give you food stamp, I give you crab money, I give you weed money, and I even give you a piece of house. and you chose to do that. Everything is a choice. You chose to do that. But guess what? That's what the Lord said. So this is what's happened to us. Ezekiel. And he said we're going way backwards. I mean, we're going backwards. Go back and pull up your statistics before Martin Luther King and pull up your statistics now. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 17 through 18. Then he said unto me, have thou seen this, O son of man? This God talking to Ezekiel. Is it a light thing? Is it a light thing that the house of Judah, that they commit these abominations, which they commit here? Judah is you, 12 tribes of Israel, tribe of Judah, the so-called Negro. For they have filled the land with violence and have returned to revolt me to anger. Look at the land. We doing the killing amongst ourselves. We destroying ourselves. We killing each other. That's what the Lord said, you can commit with death and you pollute the land. And have returned to provoke me to anger. Lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore will I also deal in fury. God, that's why we're in this pain. That's why we're going through what we're going through, people. You have to read this Bible and study and figure out why you're going through what you're going through. This is it. We making national news. They talking about us like nothing. We Proverbs. How the niggas can't get along with their wife. How the niggas, the first in this, the first in that, first in this. They find out you're a nigga, they don't want to buy from you. All this stuff, it's crazy. We got women fighting against men. You got women I go to the gym. I see women that trying to lift weight look like men. Nobody want a masculine woman. We want feminine, soft women, not these hard, independent so-called women. I don't care what you talk to them about. They go straight back to what about the man? What about the man? You made the choice to pick a man that was no good for you because of the life that you were looking for. Because y'all only make we see what's going on. The men's are waking up. We see what's going on. There's only 9% of the women making $75,000 a year, which come up to about $35,000 $35 an hour. So you got women now. The other average women only making $35,000 a year. They can't live by themselves. So they go find drug boys trying to make the difference. When they start looking for a husband, they're looking for drug boys. So when they get in a bad relationship, they blame all men because they chose the choice. And because they disobeyed the law, statute, and commandment. Consequences come out, and the Lord giving it to you. But you won't understand because guess what? You won't read the Bible. Everything that you're going through is in the Bible. Therefore, will I also deal in fury. My eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in my ear with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. Lord said, I don't hear you. I don't hear your prayer. And people say, God hears your prayer. God said, God loves, God said, God hate the sin, but love the sinner. God just told you he do not. He said, I don't even hear you. He don't even hear our sin. He don't hear none of our prayer because guess what? Until you come back to the law, statute, and commandment, start keeping the law, commandment, he don't hear you. You got these people in church not keeping the law, statute, commandment. God don't hear your prayer. You praying in vain. You think God hear your prayer, but guess what? God told Moses. Now God told the people that I bless who I bless. He do what he want to do. So you think you getting any little blessing? God just give you blessing because that's who he is. But one day he gonna reject them blessings that he giving you because you really don't deserve it. That's what you call grace and mercy. He giving you grace, he give you mercy, giving you stuff that you don't deserve, but you won't understand it. So you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it till he finally cut your leg from up under you. And you fall. You wonder why I said, well, I was doing good for 12 years. What happened to me? Because God just took his mercy and grace from you. Because you keep abusing it, because you think you don't obey the law, statutes, and commandments. Go to Baruch. I want you to go to Baruch, and this will be the end of this message. It's in the Apocrypha 4:6. You were sold to a nation. You were sold to nation. You was in slavery. And this, you can't deny that you was in slavery. You know you came over here on slave ship. Even the white folks admit that you came on slave ship, and they try to say, we sorry, we doing this and doing that there. But they don't, hey, check this out, people. The Santas writing a bill trying to make a law where white people can't feel discomfort on a job. What the world? Go look it up. I told you I'm gonna watch him. I can put live everything. They say he's trying to buddy up with Biden. I know I got video where I told y'all you've been better off having Trump because you know Trump is a snake. You know he a dog. Ain't kept nothing he promised the black folks. They got now they're gonna give what they're gonna do. They come you, they're gonna beg for your vote. The most don't vote, but you will never understand because you won't read Deuteronomy 15:15. Most High said don't vote. He said vote for your king. Your king if somebody look like you. He said vote for some people that look like you. Yeah, ain't no Hebrew Israelite running for election. You put a vote for your people who look like who Hebrew Israelite. These Christianity for running for election. That's why they're going to jail now. Cause they trying to steal and mistreat you and everything. They just let out Reggie Bush. Now they're gonna take his house. See, they get in there and steal for themselves and only steal for. So guess what? God bringing them down. So now you got Corinne Brown. She want her money back. All our people are falling because you disobeyed law, statutes, and commandments. They not. We do your study. I'm not gonna get off of that. Let me get back into my lesson. You were sold to nations. We were sold all across the planet. All 4 corners of the earth, we were sold to every people that had us enslaved. The Portuguese, the Israel, Ishmael, China, Japan. We were sold in Europe. All these people, guess what? You'll never understand why they're in your neighborhood. Because what they did, you still in slavery. Because they took them people and put them in your neighborhood. Right now, you have no food, healthy food. All you got 9 little candies, cookie, soda, juice, 2 for $1. All these I can make cookies and everything. So you dying. Your kid dying, you dying, everybody dying just around you. Because guess what? The Lord said we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. We were sold to the nation. You still in slavery, still in captivity. Not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath. God said he did this, for he did this to you. Why they won't teach you this? God said, I did this to you because you disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. You read it for yourself. I'm gonna read it again. Not for your destruction, but because you moved God to wrath. God did this because you disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. You delivered unto the hand of the enemy. You delivered to the hand of the enemy. You delivered to the hand of the enemy. God love you, but you don't love God back. And these Christianity church is gonna kill you if you don't come out of these Christianity church and find the Hebrew Israelite brother. I should have 1,000,000 viewers. You should be learning what you will, but guess what? We stiff neck people, and we don't care. We don't do nothing. So whatever happened to you, God doing this to you, nobody else. God using people to do this evil to you because guess what? You disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. You can come ask me any kind of question. I'll pull it out of the Bible. Now, if you don't believe in the Bible, don't call me. You just accept what your faith is. If you believe in the Bible, want some concern, you can text me. Matter of fact, I got it where you can be talking to me, and I can answer your questions. But guess what? Nobody want to learn because we love what we had. Shalom, my people. Shalom, my people. I do this out of love. I do this out of love. I promise you, I do this out of love.